So how many people are really still playing Pokemon Go in this day and age? Because I don't really know a whole lot of people that still do. Now, I actively still do. Just I log in about once a day just to do my daily thing, and then I log off. I used to be very avid on playing this game every single day. I used to follow a lot of Pokemon Go YouTubers, and one of them in particular has been living rent-free in my head for the last 3 years with his stupid-ass comments about the game. So we're going to be watching this real quick. Now, I'll take it, this is not a reaction. I have already seen this video. I'm still angry about this video. It has never left the recesses and the back of my mind because I wholeheartedly disagree with this motherfucker. If you don't know who I'm talking about, if you don't know who this is in the picture, this is a guy named Nicholas. He goes by the online name of Trainer Tips. He, in my opinion, was the most wholehearted YouTuber that did Pokemon Go videos. I really appreciated watching his videos. It felt nice. Now, I made a video on him before. Last year, him and Mystic7, they had their YouTube channels taken down because they had CP in the title, and YouTube misunderstood that for child pornography. And that's just not what it was at all. It was literally them talking about combat points in Pokemon Go. So this is actually my second video I've made on this. Now, I've liked them, but really I couldn't watch them anymore because of this video right here. And Mystic7 drove me away because he's just one of those people that talks about mental health, and you need to talk to him about mental health instead of actually seeing somebody who specializes in helping you with your mental health. And it just annoys me that, you know, a YouTuber would be the one that's trying to tell you what to do about it instead of actually seeking professional help. Because, you know, he's not a professional. He was a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid. So he doesn't really know what the hell he's talking about. But we're going to go ahead and get into this. This is Trainer Tips, and this is the most frustrating shit I think I've heard online in quite a while. Which is funny because I've dealt with a lot, and we've all been seeing a lot of shit.
Right now, and trust me, they want to stay that way because, like I said, augmented reality is going to be huge over the next few years. They really are on the forefront of something brand new here. There will be a lot of money to be made in augmented reality in the near future. More so, way more than even what they're making with Pokemon Go. So if Niantic want to continue to push AR forward, which I honestly believe they do, they will never, ever cater to spoofers in any way. This game takes place in the real world, in the physical world, and it will continue.
I mean, to be fair, all video games take place in the physical world. We're all physical beings living on a physical plane of existence playing video games. What the fuck are you even talking about?
To do so, as long as it survives. So once you truly understand augmented reality and Niantic's vision, you'll see that there really is no acceptable excuse for spoofing.
Except for people who literally cannot get out of bed. People who are literally wheelchair bound that cannot leave their house to go play a game. Especially people who are living in rural areas that cannot do the same thing that people like him and I are blessed and able to do because we live in good places like California that have lots of Pokestops and, you know, lots of gyms. Rural areas, if you've ever been to Oklahoma, there's nothing there.
And everything I'm about to say relies on that understanding. So if there's anything after this point that you disagree with, you need to come back to here and really think about what augmented reality is and what it means.
So if you don't understand what I'm trying to tell you, you're wrong by default because I'm the pro guy playing a fucking phone app game. I'm the almighty power source of Pokemon Go.
By far the most common answer, and the one that sort of makes the most sense and probably garners the most support at a surface level, is that there are some people who are disabled, sick, or otherwise physically unable to go outside and play the game in the real world. Now, this is probably a pretty common answer, and one that I think a lot of people are afraid to argue with. Even my boy Mystic7 sort of fell into the trap of saying that this is okay. And I understand, because honestly, you would seem like an ableist asshole if you said that disabled people shouldn't be able to play the game. Well, I'm not afraid to be that asshole. And again, you not absolutely hate...
Well, I mean, I'm glad you're not afraid to admit that you're an asshole, despite the fact that you pretend that you're not an asshole on your channel.
Hating me for what I just said depends on your understanding of what augmented reality really means. For as much of an idealist as I can be here on the channel, I consider myself equal parts a realist. And the reality is, There are some things that some people just can't physically do. No one is hating on basketball for not being accessible to disabled people. I mean, sure, there are wheelchair basketball leagues, but the fact is there's an innate understanding that basketball is something that requires physical activity.
I like how he compares disabled basketball to a phone app game, because he's so offended by the fact that people will hack the game, which does nothing to hurt the community. By the way, no matter what you think, it does nothing to people who play Pokemon Go. If anything, I'm okay with spoofing, because whenever I would attack a gym, I'd feel like there's actual people interacting with the same gym I'm at, whether they're in the same area that I'm in or if they're all the way in China. They're still helping me take out a gym, or they're taking out my gym, which is making me stay interactive with the game.
But again, because Pokemon Go is played on a mobile device, people fall into the trap of thinking it's a regular mobile game, and that
Because it fucking is.
it should be accessible to everyone.
Because it should. It's a mobile game. If I pay for a cell phone that can support apps and I download Pokemon Go, it is now acceptable to me.
Please don't misunderstand me in thinking that I don't care about people who are sick or disabled. For anyone who has any kind of illness, sickness, I wish you the best. I wish you a speedy and full recovery, because I would love for you to be able to enjoy this game the way that I do.
Except we don't make fucking money off of donations and Patreon money to travel the world to play a phone app game.
But if you are physically unable to go outside and play this game as Niantic intended, as you agreed to do when you agreed to the terms of service upon signing up for the game, there are so many other options for you. The real fun of Pokemon Go is going outside to catch them. Without that aspect, it's really not that great of a game. And this is coming from someone who makes almost their entire living through this game. Believe me.
It's really no different than any other Pokemon game. Like, I don't even have to leave my house, and I still have Pokemon spawning across the street that I can access without having to leave my bed. Most people don't even have to walk to go play this game. You could literally just be at work and log in, and you can catch shit. I don't understand.
If you want to sit in bed and use a joystick to go around and catch Pokemon, I have some suggestions for you. 100 times better.
If you don't want to play the game I want to play, you cannot play my game. Boy, look, I've spoofed before in Pokemon Go. I don't fucking care. I've reached level 40. I've got all the Pokemon up to Generation 3. I didn't care. You know what it did? It actually made me more interested in like what's going on in the world, what streets are in my area. When I lived in Sherman, Texas, it's because of Pokemon Go spoofing that I actually figured out where certain streets were that led me to certain convenience stores, because I just moved there and I didn't have a lot of gas money to be traveling. But I knew exactly which route to take, how to get there. Pokestops definitely helped me knowing where land locations are. I'm not going to sit at home and just play a DS game because you don't like the fact that I spoof.
Than playing Pokemon Go with a joystick. 100 times better than playing Pokemon Go with a joystick.
You're also forgetting that each one of these costs $40 while Pokemon Go is a free mobile app.
100 times better than playing Pokemon Go with a joystick. Seriously, hundreds of times better than sitting in bed and playing Pokemon Go with a joystick.
Not to mention, once you beat these games, you're kind of done with it. Pokemon Go is constantly updated, like every week.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the real-world exploration aspect of it, I wouldn't be playing Pokemon Go. Seriously.
So why the fuck do you play the other Pokemon games? I mean, you could just sit at home and play those.
If you want to stay at home and catch Pokemon with a joystick, this is the way to go. And there's no physical barriers to entry, unless you don't have hands or fine motor
No exceptions, Nick!
function. But is anyone crucifying Nintendo for designing a system that requires thumbs to use?
Well, I mean, if given the opportunity, I'm sure you would.
So, at the risk of sounding absolutely heartless, no, being sick or disabled is not an excuse for spoofing in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, you might kill somebody. Think of the children.
Popular answer number 2.
I like how he edited the video and kept in the part where he drank the drink just to show how much of an asshole he is. The only thing he's missing is eating a red shiny apple.
Living in a rural area that lacks nests and spawns, not everyone can travel to play the game. Now, I will actually put some blame on Niantic for this one. It's true that this game does absolutely punish players who live in rural areas.
But that's their fault.
And that is 100% Niantic's fault. The algorithm for determining where spawn points are located is definitely impressive, and I'm sure Niantic's very proud of it, but it favors urban areas way too heavily. Now, we've seen them take small steps towards mitigating that issue.
It's because that's where the most cellular activity is. That's why.
They've increased spawn rates worldwide. They've added spawns to hiking trails, footpaths, in rural areas, and even in urban areas. But they need to do a lot more to balance the disparity between urban and rural gameplay. The truth is, when this game was first announced, I envisioned having to go outside of the city to complete my Pokédex, rather than coming into the city, into a specific area like Long Beach, the Pike, Santa Monica Pier. Going to places like Big Bear, Joshua Tree, going on hikes and finding no Pokemon whatsoever is really disappointing. Niantic's...
It's so hard being a fucking YouTuber that makes money through donations on his Patreon. I guarantee you, if he lived in rural areas that had like no Pokestops, no Pokemon spawns, nothing, his attitude would be vastly different than this. Like, there was nothing at the town I lived in whenever this game first came out. There was nothing.
Its vision for the game is to make you go out and explore, so don't punish me for exploring. But at the end of the day, that is the vision for the game, and if you live somewhere that lacks spawn diversity, you gotta get up and go. Can you imagine if Ash never left Pallet Town? He would have caught Rattata, Pidgey, Spearow.
And the show would have still been better than what it is now.
Every Pokemon fan's dream was to be a trainer in real life, and as a Pokemon trainer, you have to actually travel to catch your Pokemon.
But you understand this isn't real. This is a game. We're not anime characters. We're not video game characters. We're real people.
So why should that be any different in real life? So barring Niantic's stubborn clinging to their current spawn mechanism, a lack of spawn diversity and spawn points in your area is not an acceptable excuse to spoof. And in the same vein, we have a lack of gyms and Pokestops in rural areas. And again, this is something that is entirely Niantic's fault, and something that they are currently working on improving. Pokestop submissions have been closed since long before Pokemon Go was even launched. There's a huge backlog of portal submissions from Ingress that Niantic is slowly working to get through. They've introduced Operation Portal Recon, which allows high-level Ingress players to go through and review potential portals, and in turn potential Pokestops and gyms, so that Niantic can actually start implementing some of those that people have submitted in rural areas. And
I mean, let's be real here. Nobody plays Ingress. It's really a waste. Like, Niantic and I'd say the Pokemon Go YouTubers are really what butchered the game and ruined it for everybody. And the reason I say that is because, like, whenever Pokemon Go first was announced, I was under the impression if you wanted to get water types, you'd have to go to lakes and the ocean. If you wanted rock types, you'd have to go into the mountain areas. Cool shit like that. You would find normal types in cities and neighborhoods. That really wanted me to go and explore. But now whenever you log on, all it is just random fucking Pokemon that shouldn't even be in your backyard, like a fucking like a Dragonite. Why is there a Dragonite in my backyard? It makes no sense.
We know from one Ingress player's experience with Operation Portal Recon that the Pokestops, or portals, that they're looking at are overwhelmingly in rural areas.
Again, because of cellular activity.
To go along with those, there's also the notion that not everyone can travel to play the game. There are kids who can't drive their own cars, whose parents are too busy to take them anywhere. But once again, this is an augmented reality game.
Suck it, kids. You can't play my game. Your parents have real jobs, and they don't have a lot of free time to take you to go play a phone app game. I guess you're not good enough to play my game.
And in reality, when I was 10 years old, if I wanted to go somewhere and my mom or dad couldn't drive me there, I didn't go. So yes, it sucks for people who don't have access to transportation to go somewhere where they can actually find rare Pokemon or an abundance of Pokestops. And you might also say that it's a stupid, foolish move for Niantic to design their game in such a way that excludes certain people from playing, but in the name of advancing augmented reality, I think that that's something they're willing to do. I just can't get enough of this notion of, oh, just go out and travel to play when you live, what, 5 minutes from the Pike?
And I'm pretty sure he's going to overlook this, but this is 100% it. Because of the fact that he lives in Long Beach, California, he's constantly surrounded by this shit, so it's not something he would suffer from. But he's still going to have an opinion on it about why you suck at life because you can't be him.
You're right, I do live very close to the Pike, and that is a choice that I made for my life. I chose to live in Long Beach because
you get donations and you can afford it. You have no life skills outside of this game at all.
I chose to make YouTube my job.
Everybody chooses to make YouTube their job. Whether or not they keep keeping at that job is up to YouTube.
My channel, obviously, is based on Pokemon Go, so the more access, the easier access I have to Pokemon Go, the better I can do my job.
It's literally in your pocket, dude.
So yeah, it's true, I have it really good here in terms of Pokemon Go, but that's not something that's impossible for any of you watching this. So here's where I
mean, you know, like, most of the country's suffering, even without our disease that's rampaging through the country right now. Most people can't afford to fucking leave their own hometowns. It's so funny to me that this asshole doesn't understand this.
Idealist part comes in. The truth is, in this world, with enough passion, with enough drive, with enough hard work, you can actually make anything possible.
You gotta suck enough dick just to travel the world to play Pokemon Go like I do, kids.
I make my living by uploading a video to YouTube.
And collecting money from people.
YouTube every day. And those videos happen to be about Pokemon Go, and for some reason there are a few people out there who are really angry and upset about that. But personally, I'm stoked.
Of course you are. You're making thousands and thousands of dollars a month. I think he makes like $5,000 a month doing this game. And he has a pretty nice apartment. Like, I know the area that he lives in. I've seen his videos. I actually lived in Long Beach, so I know where he's at. I don't know his exact house or whatever, and I don't care to find out. But it is just very funny to me that he would even say something like this.
Since I was 10 years old, since Pokemon Go first made an appearance in North America, I wanted to be a Pokemon trainer. And I've done it. I've made myself into a full-time Pokemon trainer. Now,
you didn't do it on your own. You got to remember that we're literally paying, not me, but people are literally paying you to play a fucking phone app game that you're going to talk shit to half the people who play.
I'm not saying everyone has to start a Pokemon Go YouTube channel in order to have the time and freedom to play Pokemon Go. But the truth is, we live in a time where you can be your own boss. You can create anything you want and put it online for millions of people to see, and you can make your living that way. You don't have to punch a card. You don't
Especially on YouTube now, this is totally not true at all. Because if it is, where the fuck is my YouTube money, man? I've been on this fucking platform making videos before you were even in middle school. I guarantee that shit. So what the fuck are you talking about? You don't have to work. You can tell 100% right here, this man has never worked a drive-thru in his life. He's never asked you if you want more fries. He's never asked you what kind of soda upgrade you want. He's never had a job. And if he has had a job, he's probably mowed a lawn. If. Fucking if.
Have to work for someone else. You don't have to show up for a 9 to 5 every day. I always have to laugh a little bit to myself when people comment things like, bro, you just make Pokemon Go videos all day. How hard could it be? But if you look up in the corner right there, there's a little arrow, and if you click on it, you can upload a video to YouTube. And literally anyone with an account can do that. So whenever people are mad or upset or try to use it as an excuse that I have so much time and it's so easy for me to play Pokemon Go because of what I do, my response is always going to be, you can do it too.
And on that, I've actually used to upload Pokemon Go videos. I've deleted them now because of how cringy it was. But I used to upload Pokemon Go videos, and, you know, they didn't really get a lot of views because most people, when they talk about Pokemon Go, they're going to either flock to him or Mystic 7. Nobody really cares about any of the other Pokemon Go YouTubers. And it's just so funny to me because it's as if he thinks, like, if you want to be a millionaire, all you have to do is upload a video. If that's the fucking case, what about poverty, Nick? Why is people starving to death in this country? Why does everybody have to work at a McDonald's job? Why is the minimum wage the way it is? All you have to do is upload a video. That's all you have to fucking do.
A lot of people have said that it's acceptable to use spoofing to catch region exclusives if you can't afford to travel. I absolutely disagree, and it's not just because I have the luxury to be able to do that. Again,
so if you don't know, if you play Pokemon Go, they have specific Pokemon that do not spawn in your country. You'd have to literally fly to another country or wait for maybe a random event, if they even do it, for the regional to unlock in your area. And they don't always do that. They don't, because I have regional Pokemon that I have still yet to catch, even from spoofing, because I don't feel like spoofing over there. But like the little events where they come to North America, you don't always get them. It's really not hurting the game to get a fucking Tropos or the Beatrice or whatever the fuck its name is. It really doesn't matter. And it's just so stupid to me that he is so fucking full on his own goddamn oxygen that he thinks it's okay for him to be able to travel the world using people who give him money to play this game, but anybody else, you cannot do that. You have to play the same way as me. And if you're not doing it right, you're just not uploading videos.
Again, it comes back to reality. This is a real-world game, and Niantic is encouraging you to travel. Obviously, not everyone can do it. We know that they're working on trading, so when that becomes available, I will be more than happy to trade my Tauros to those of you who can't travel outside of your country. I actually think it would be really fun to go to, like, Australia and trade all my Tauros for Kangaskhan.
Yeah, it would be really fun to be able to fucking go to Australia in general. But I guess I'm not uploading enough videos, Nick.
Kangaskhan, and then go to Europe and trade all my Kangaskhan for Mr. Mime, and then go to South America and trade all my Mr. Mime for Heracross. And it's something I definitely plan on doing whenever trading does become available. But as far as having...
But you didn't get that from working hard. You literally get that because you're simping out your fucking channel on YouTube, collecting money to go do things like this. He's got such a punchable face, man. Like, if I ever seen this guy, I'd probably have to deck him in the nose. Like, this is the most infuriating video on this entire website, in my opinion. May not be for you. You may not even care about this. But I find this the most disrespectful, absent-minded, asinine fucking response to somebody playing a video game I've ever seen.
The luxury to travel, again, that is something that is possible if you work hard enough. It might take a year, it might take 10 years, but
you have to play Pokemon Go for 10 years, working your ass off, uploading videos just to be able to go to South America to get that Heracross. This is how you do it, boys.
I promise you, if you really want to travel outside of your country to catch region-exclusive Pokemon, you can make that happen. And honestly, I'm sure Casey Neistat has a ton of great videos on this.
Again, he's also a millionaire who uploads fucking videos. I'm going to stop the video right here because this video has been irritating me for 3 years, and I continue to be irritated every time I watch it. I'm going to let you know a little bit about me, in case you didn't know. I used to be an area manager for Pizza Hut. I made a lot of money. But you know what? I had a lot of bills. I had 5 stores that worked under me. I also used to be a general manager. I used to be high up in the pizza chain. I know, pizza jobs, who fucking cares? I guess I wasn't uploading videos enough, Nick. But I used to make thousands of dollars a month. I used to spend thousands of dollars a month. Between having to stay in hotels, getting my car worked on constantly, paying my bills, affording to eat, taking care of stores, getting things cleaned up for proper inspections. I didn't have money to travel the world, Nick. But you know what? I worked about 75 hours a week. The most I ever worked in 1 week doing my job was 96 hours. 96 hours! That is something this motherfucker has never had the concept to grasp in his entire mind. Because he's never worked a day in his fucking life. You know how I know that? Because he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. It's so easy to say shit like this when you have never had to do something like that. You're not trying hard enough working a minimum wage job, which, by the way, in some places, that's all you can do. The town I originally grew up in, there was nothing there. You had to work a minimum wage job. Unless you wanted to be a nurse for a hospital. That is it. That is fucking it. My mom had a degree in engineering. Didn't get to go anything with it. because there's nothing in that area. We were stuck there due to family. She suffered and had to work a factory job, which ended up killing her. Not killing her, but it killed her body. She had many surgeries on her body because her spine disc were misplaced. She had a disc in her throat taken out that I had to pay for. And that was a big chunk of my savings to make sure that she was going to be okay. And I never got to travel. I've only been in the southern states of the US, and that was only when I went on vacation to Florida and me traveling between Texas and California. That's it. I never got to go up north. I never got to leave the country. I sure as fuck never got to go to Australia using fucking Patreon money. And I don't want anybody to think like I'm being salty about this, like I'm jealous of him. I'm not. I'm just making that very clear right now. This has nothing to do with jealousy. This is just the most obnoxious fucking kid uploading a video why he doesn't like how you played the game, which does not hurt anybody. And I really feel like it's because of the fact that he's like too goody two shoes to actually spoof. Because if he did that, he wouldn't have any content for his fucking channel. That's what I feel. And you know what, Nick? You know what? Go fuck yourself.